So the World Cup is almost upon us, so today I'm going to be taking a look at who the favourites are and who my personal favourites are, teams that I think have got a chance of actually winning this competition this year, of course. Yesterday I did my part 1 match day 1 predictions, so predicts the first few groups matches, doing that in multiple parts, couple more parts to go. They'll be coming out later this week. Today I'm going to be focusing on who I think might win the World Cup, who I think the favourites are, who the teams are that have got a really good chance of winning this tournament this season. Of course, there's a lot of quality teams in this. It's very, very hard to predict this year. On my channel as well, I've also got a short that went up the other day, which where I do one of the predictor games, go the whole way through for the group stage all the way to the final. And yeah, if you want to see who I've got winning it, who I've got going out at what stage, that's all in that video. It's about 2 minutes, 1 minute and a half, 2 minutes long, something like that. Can't remember off the top of my head, but that covers all of my individual predictions. But I'm going to give you some of my thoughts today on who I think some of the favourites are, what players I think could stand out as well in terms of winning the awards as well, player of the tournament, all those sort of things. As like I said, there's a lot of teams I think that have got a chance of winning this. There is a few real standout teams for everyone though. There's some very similar predictions in terms of the winner, in terms of like the last 4 matchups across the board from what I've seen overall. So it's definitely a difficult one to predict this time around. Extended World Cup format as well. Extra groups, there'll be over 100 games being played at this World Cup. It's madness, really. But let's take a look at this. So a lot of people's favourites, and I believe the outright favourites. And to be honest, the team I actually did predict as my winners for this tournament is, of course, Spain. Spain are right now, in this moment, probably the team that's on the best moment as a national team, in the sense that they're a team of winners. They just come off of winning the Euros, and when they did this before, they did the 2 Euros in a row and the World Cup in between them. And certainly the trajectory they're on right now, they're looking to do a similar sort of thing. Like I said, they're so fast down the wings. They can really cause anyone major problems. It's no wonder a lot of people have them making the final. A lot of people have them as the winners. I mean, the 2 favourites are the 2 that I'm really, some of the favourites are 2 I'm really sort of looking at, Spain and France. In my predictions, I had them to meet in the semi-final, and could we see them meet a lot over recent years as well. Spain have had the upper hand against them recently as well. We've seen, of course, in the last Euros, Spain beat them in the semi-final. With the semi-final Nations League last year, we see Spain beat them again 5-4. Could that be, if that is the matchup that we see in the semi-final, could that be a taste of what's to come in that game? But quite possibly, I think. Like I said, Spain all over the pitch, really strong. 3 top goalkeepers. I mean, David Raya, best keeper in the world, I would say, arguably. I mean, I would, in my opinion, as well. Probably won't even start. They like Simons, who's an excellent keeper as well, and has always never let Spain down. He's always performed at the top level for them when he has been in goal. That's who they won it with last time round in goal in the Euros, so can't argue with that. You've got Garcia as well, very good keeper as well. So 3 excellent options there. Defence is very strong. I mean, I think Cucurella is going to be one of the standout players this tournament. I think Cucurella is going to have an excellent World Cup, and I think Fabio Luiz as well, player that I think could be vital. Midfield for Spain is so strong. Zubimendi, Rodri, team of winners. You know, I've already won the Euros with them, won things at club level as well. Ruiz is, you see the season he's had for PSG. I think he could be one of the players of this tournament. If Spain do go on a win, which I predicted, they could well be some of the names I put forward for player of the tournament. You know, I think Olmo will be up there in terms of the goals. I don't think he'll be the top goal scorer, but I definitely think he's got some goals in him. I definitely think he'll create some as well. Yamal has got to be in that conversation as well if Spain go all the way. If they do meet France in the semi-final, that was my prediction. I think it's going to be so tight. It really could go either way. It really is going to be so tight. I just went for Spain just because of the kind of moment they're in right now. It just feels like it really is their time at the moment. I can really see them taking this tournament by stride. In the stride. But I think, like I say, I just think excellent all over the pitch. Multiple players in every position that can do a good job for them. And I think that there's a lot of teams that I think could win this. It was very hard to pick a winner. I did go for Spain in the end, though. They're the team I think is going to do it. if we'll get to England, I want England to win. I think we can win, but I just see the pace Spain play out as well. When we see the final last time out, it's going to be tough. Anyone going up against Spain this World Cup is going to be really, really tough for them for sure. So I think Spain, for me, team that will everyone be looking to beat. But as for France, though, got to talk about them though. Deschamps, excellent manager. I mean, if they make the World Cup final this time around, that'll be they're a popular pick as the winner as well. And you know if they do make this final, it'll be three of the last the last three World Cup finals they've made, which is just incredible. They lost last time out, neck and neck to Argentina on penalties as 50-50. We've seen them falling short in the Euros in the last two Euros, and obviously in the final as well. They've fallen short, not been able to get that one over the line yet. But their World Cup performances have just been excellent. 2018 winning it, of course. Could they go and win it again here? It's definitely possible. They're definitely one of the favourites. The level they play at is just so high. Every position is stacked with talent, multiple players in every area ready to go. Maybe some of them need to hit some form, but that's never a problem from Mbappe. For me, I always think Mbappe is one of those players that I recognise more as like an international player than a club player. I mean, look at how good he is for France. He just always turns up for them. Whatever's going on with him at club level, his performances for France have just been some of the best individual performances I've ever seen on the football pitch. I mean, look at his performances last time out in the World Cup. He always shows up for France. His performances throughout the whole tournament last time were fantastic. He could be top goal scorer. He could be one of the players of the tournament. If France go all the way, Mbappe will be key, I believe, because it's always so good for France. He's seems to find another. He's obviously a top player, but he seems to find another level when it gets to the international stage. He's one of them players. So France, definitely a very, very strong contender. For me, next up, I mean, I would have to say Portugal. If you see my predictions, I have Portugal meeting Spain in the final, so a bit of a national team derby, like there's a rivalry there. How exciting would that be? That would be a fantastic game. Portugal, I just feel a national team that I just think have had so much potential for so long. They've been on the brink of greatness for so long. Their team has improved over recent years. Going into Euro 2020, a team stacked with talent, and it's just grown and grown and grown as they develop more and more players. And now they're looking like, individually in each position, they honestly have, you could argue, the best squad. You really could. I mean, look at that midfield. The reason I think Portugal could win this World Cup, the reason I was debating when I got to the final, when it was Portugal versus Spain, I very nearly went for Portugal. I very nearly went for a first-time winner. If it is going to be a first-time winner, they are definitely the strongest contender to be that. That midfield is just one of the best individual midfielders that I think we've ever seen. I mean, if you look, you've got Coutinho, you've got João Neves, and then you've got Bruno Fernandes, top assists, record-breaking amounts of assists in the Premier League this season. Bruno Fernandes, you've got João Neves and Coutinho, club teammates, vital to PSG's back-to-back Champions Leagues and the treble they won last year. That midfield that was just the best we've seen in Europe, really. Think of how good they could be, and it'll be, if they do meet Spain in the final, it'll be a really interesting midfield battle where he's going up against his teammates. That would be quite something. I think Portugal, the reason I think Portugal could beat anyone in this tournament, it really does come down to that midfield. They're strong in every area. Defensively, they're good. Goalkeeper, Diogo Costa, someone I hope that someone at Chelsea are showing interest in, someone I'd love to have at Chelsea. If we do go for him, I definitely would be pleased with that. If you look up front as well, many options to come off the bench down the wing. They've got game changes, if the game goes to extra time, or the need to bring players off the bench. You've got Leao, you've got Felix, you've got Pedro Neto. You've just got so many options now. Cristiano Ronaldo, he'll definitely play a part in this tournament. Should he start every game? I just don't see how he can because of his age, but he'll definitely be there. He'll definitely play a part. Whether he plays many games or not, definitely the right call to have him there, have that experience, have that leadership that he brings, just the influence on the rest of the squad. I definitely think it's worth him being here. Just to give you an idea of how good Portugal's squad is, Bernardo Silva is going to be on the bench at this World Cup. That shows you the level that they're at. So definitely this could be their time, and I think they've been on the brink of success for so long. And Martinez has done well in knockout football in the past. Obviously winning going far with Belgium. And it seems like he really has. Portugal played much more attacking football since he's come in. Excellent in qualifying, just ripping teams to pieces. All the teams they should beat, they seem to just destroy. And that's been the case for a while. But I mean, when it's come up to the top games against the top teams, that's when they've fallen short. That's when a lot of questions have been asked of them. But I really, do think that they are starting to prove that wrong, because if you think last time out in the Nations League this time last year, they I know the Nations League is one thing, it's how serious people take it is debatable, but it still counts for a lot. I think the fact they beat Germany in Germany and then beat Spain in a great game on penalties. World Cup finals quite often go to extra time, and if it is, I'm right in my predictions, I think, you know, we're likely to see that. We could see a very similar game to the Nations League final, a thrilling 2-all all the way to penalties. Why not? It's fantastic matchup. I think we could see something very similar if that is how this tournament does pan out. So they're the teams that I would say are the favourites. Then I would have England. In my predictions is I did have England falling short in the semi-finals to Portugal, mainly because of Portugal's midfield. I just worry that's where we could be outmatched, and that's not because I don't rate our midfield at all, because our midfield is world class. Anderson, I love what a player. Whether it's Bellingham or Rodgers in that 10 role, either one of them. Declan Rice, of course, one of the, you know, player of the season, arguably in the Premier League. Many would have suggested. So, no faults there at all. The only thing is, it's just the way they play together and the way they move. The fact they're both club teammates as well, Neves and Vitinha. The amount of creativity Bruno Fernandes will bring for a really fast-paced attack. That'll be the worry. Will we be able to get up to speed? Will we be able to deal with that pace? If anyone can do it, I believe it's Thomas Tuchel. Excellent at knockout football. I've seen how good he can set a team up defensively at my club, Chelsea, when we won the Champions League. I know we'd have it in us, but it'd be very tough. So I'd have us as one of the favourites. We definitely can do it, but we all know how tough it's going to be, of course. After that, Argentina got to be in the discussion. A lot of people will have them as even bigger favourites than this, and I understand why, because winning it last time out, it's very difficult to go back to back, I will say that, but Argentina have got a very good chance to do it. Team of winners as well, you know. Lionel Messi still there, whereas he got one last big show in him. Quite possibly, I really think he would have been saving himself for this tournament. Just excellent all over the pitch. Whichever striker it is, I imagine it will be Alvarez, but Martinez, either one of them, you know, look at the amount of goals that they'll get from. Fernandes was crucial to the World Cup last time out for them. They lost the first game to Saudi Arabia, brought him in against Mexico, they won 2-0, played him for the rest of the tournament, stepped up in the big moments for him as well. And, you know, he was key last time out. I think they got the squad selection spot on as well. I had them meeting Portugal in the quarter-final. Honestly, 50-50, could go either way. I feel like it might be Portugal's time, although Argentina have got that experience, that winning pedigree. Really anything could happen if it is them two meeting, and we'll have the whole Messi, even if it is past their prime, the whole Messi Ronaldo thing as well, which would, you know, really would be something to get excited about for sure. So they're the five for me. They're the one of them five winning it. I wouldn't be like at all surprised. I think, you know, they're definitely the five favourites, and I think a lot of people would go on along with that. That's my take on it. I think after that, that's when I would mention Brazil. I think Brazil, I spoke the other day in my predictions video, I don't think for the first games, I don't think the squad selection was right. I think João Pedro should have been there. I don't think Neymar Vinicius Jr. should be there. I sort of explained more as to why in that video. Richarlison definitely should be there as well. Esteval's injury really hurts them, because I'm just not sure they've got the goals in them. When I look at the other teams that I've just put above them, I'm just not sure the goals are going to be there. It's not that they don't have goal scorers. Igor Thiago, look at the amount of goals he scored for Brentford this season, but it's going to be tough. I just think, and again, João Pedro, even if he didn't start, as a game changer off the bench, I just think they've lost out massively not having him there. That said, they got one of the best managers of all time, so Brazil, they really could win this just because Ancelotti's there. Simple as that. I'm just not sure this is going to be the tournament. I think maybe it could be one too early for them as well. And I do think as well, you know, them not going in as the favourites makes a change as well, because they've always been it feels like they're the favourites every time round, and they've not always seemed to keep messing up in the previous tournaments. So going in with not quite, there's obviously pressure on them, they're Brazil, but not quite so much pressure on them as previous tournaments. Maybe that could play into their hands. They've got the right man in charge now for sure. I'm just not sure that it's going to be there, yeah. To be honest, I think that there's a lot of teams that I think could potentially cause them problems in this World Cup. I think the Netherlands got to be in the discussion. Probably the most successful. They are the most successful national team to never win this tournament. It does feel like they'll have to win it one day, because, you know, 3 finals they've lost in, and maybe they're going under the radar a bit because of the quality of other nations. But I do think that they're solid. They're solid in every area of the pitch. They've got, you know, good players in every position. They might not have the depth and the quite so much quality as some of the other teams I've already mentioned, but it's not unthinkable them winning this tournament. I will say that. Well, do I think this will be the year the Netherlands win it? Personally, no, but they're a potential last four for sure, and they could cause anyone problems on their day for sure. I think they've got to be in the discussion. Germany, I'd have probably just above them as favourites. To be fair, you can never write Germany off, whether this is the best ever German team, like the best German team or not. You can't write Germany off simply because of Germany. They've gone into previous tournaments not heavily fancied and done really well, won it in 2014, and it does feel like they drew a really, really successful tournament as well. Good manager in Nagelsmann. It's definitely possible. I just feel like if they meet someone like France, I just don't think they're quite that level at this moment. So I'd have them, I'd have the Netherlands. So they're the 8 I think a lot of people would put forward as the sort of 8 favourites. There's a lot of teams that I'd have in that discussion as well. Teams like Norway that I think are capable of a real run. Teams like Morocco that I think could cause anyone problems because of how good they are defensively. Senegal that have got quality players in every position. Japan, even without Matoma, very, very hard to beat and definitely capable of a really good run. Teams like someone like Ecuador I think could be a real sort of surprise team. I'm going to do a video tomorrow. I'm going to talk about some of the dark horses and surprise teams that I think we could see in this tournament. I'm talking about teams that I think have genuine chance of winning it today. Teams like Norway, I think, they're in with an outside chance. They could go very far. I mean, just look at the amount of goals they scored in the qualifying. Look at how well they qualified. Look at what they did to Italy. I'll talk more about those types of teams tomorrow, but I do think they maybe even should be in front of some of the teams like Germany simply because of the current form. It's just when it comes to the tournament, there's certain names that you always expect to be there. Colombia, serious team. They've had teams in the past that have underperformed at big nations, and it looks like they've got really good teams together now. So maybe this could be their year. You've got teams like Switzerland and Croatia, really experienced in these tournaments, and maybe going under the radar a bit because of teams that have come up and really risen over the last couple of years. There's more as well. There's so many quality teams in this World Cup. Turkey, a good nation, and of course Belgium. Let's talk about Belgium actually as well. Belgium I'd have right up, just outside that sort of top 8, 9 sort of favourites I mentioned. Belgium have got to be there. Belgium are maybe going under the radar a bit as well. Golden generation. This might not be like the golden generation had a few years ago, but what it is again like the Netherlands, a team that's got a good player. It's got good players in every position. If they come up against Spain, someone like that, they might fall short because they might not have the depth and the outright quality in every position. But Doku definitely could have a good tournament. There's good players in every position. It's a strong squad Belgium have got here, and I actually think they look a lot better than they looked in 2022. They've developed a lot of good players. I think they've selected the squad well as well. Quarterfinals, I would expect them to top their group, and I think quarterfinals is very likely, and it's not unthinkable that they go beyond that. So they've got to be in that discussion as well, I believe. There's so many teams. Uruguay are 2-time winners, so you can't write them off. It's been a long, long time, obviously, but because they've got that pedigree, you can never write them off. This might not be the side they've had in years gone by. The days of Suarez and Cavani are over, but what they have got again is a balanced team, a very good players all over the pitch. They are strong in all positions. It's a bit of an unknown how they're going to do in this tournament, but definitely a team that's capable of going quite deep. It's hard to say with them, but players like Valverde, that you can't completely count them out of it either. So it's that's kind of where I'm at the moment with it. I'm thinking Spain win this tournament, but Portugal could be there. Yeah, it really could be, and teams like France, England as well. So of course could go any which way really. In terms of the other kind of awards, I'm thinking in terms of top goal scorer, I think if England do make the semis like I predicted, or even the quarterfinals, I think that could be the stage where it gets really tricky for England. And I think Harry Kane is very likely the top goal scorer. That's probably who I would say actually. But players like Mbappe will be in that discussion as well. I also think if Norway go far, I think quarterfinals is definitely possible for them. I think if they do, I'd imagine Haaland will be in that conversation as well. Young player of the tournament, the player I put forward for that is O'Reilly. Big game player, really. I think this could be the tournament he really breaks through, really announces himself on the international stage. Look at the season he's had this season. We've really seen him like reach the next level for Man City. The goals against Arsenal, single-handedly winning the League Cup final. Well, not single-handedly, but you know, played a significant part, and that was the best player by far that day. Completely bossed the field at Wembley, then completely, you know, see that assist he got for Haaland in that the big moments against Arsenal. He just steps up. He's gonna have some tournament. I really do believe he's going to be a big reason why I believe England are going to have got a good chance of going all the way. So that's my thoughts at the moment. So let me know if you think what players you think could stand out, what teams you think could surprise, and also let me know like what your last four would be as well. Like who you think is going to go all the way and win this tournament. It's hard to call this tournament. There's so many quality teams in it. That's my thoughts on who I think the favourites are and the potential winners. Tomorrow, going to do some predictions for I think the dark horses and the surprise teams potentially are. So look out for that.